a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies Merica.
In the year 331 BC, in the kingdom of Marlborough, there lived a young boy who discovered an ancient power never mind. How many movies have we seen begin with something like that, right? Some origin story from way back in the day, and then it just, just gets worse from there. But hey, anyway, we have kind of a movie like that today, all right? Just a little tease, a little taste of what's to come. So please keep tuned in to today's Movies Merica episode. Let's get this party started. Roll that intro. Hey, all you beautiful movie-loving people out there, live from a red carpet somewhere, surrounded by celebrities. This is the Movies Merica podcast with Van Ebert, where movie reviews meet cold brews. Van will review your favorite and maybe not so favorite movies while enjoying some ice-cold beers and saying cheers. Now let's head into the theater and join our illustrious movie reviewer du jour, who's no doubt got the beer ready to pour, Van Ebert. Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome to Movies Merica podcast. Yes, this latest episode, I want to invite you right on in. Come on in. Be a friend. Be family. You know, like Vin Diesel always says, it's all about family, right? So, as cheesy as that line is in those movies, it's still a good line, right? Yeah, well, maybe not really. But anyway, so come on in. The point is, come on in, get relaxed, settle down for this latest episode of Movies Merica. Absolutely. So, and we are now done with the Movies Merica Haunted House series. October is through, and on we move to new things. Yes, we are in November here, and it's time to get into a somewhat new movie. I am a little late to the party on this movie here, and this movie stars one Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and by now you probably know which movie I'm talking about, and this movie would be called Black Adam.
Black Adam. What have your powers ever given to you? Nothing but heartache.
I was a slave until I died. Then I was reborn a god. My son sacrificed his life to save me. Now, I kneel before no one.
In this world, there are heroes.
I feel the pain in my city wherever I go.
And there are villains. Heroes don't kill people.
Well, I do.
Yeah, but he only kills the bad people. Come on. You know, it's not like he's going out there and, like, torching a bus full of elementary school kids. Come on. He only kills the bad people, the bad guys. Absolutely. So, rock on, Black Adam. There you go. So, get rid of the scumbags. Okay, well, before we get down too far down the Black Adam rabbit hole, let me let you know about that this episode and all episodes are actually on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, many other platforms that you can think of that would have fine podcast episodes. And then if you just happen to land on Apple Podcasts,
feel free to zip on down all the way to the very bottom of all the episodes. There's just like you got all the episodes listed there. Go to the very bottom, below the bottommost episode. And there are 5 fantastic stars that'll be staring you right in the face. Yeah, they're staring at you, begging for you to click on the 5 stars, enticing you, yes, tempting you to click on those scrumptious 5 stars, which you should just give in. Just give in. Don't hold back. Don't resist. Resistance is futile. Just click on those 5 stars if you would. If you really want to. And also, since you're down there, there's a write a review button, and it lets you do exactly like what it says. Write a review. So you just got to click on that, and you can write a review in there. It can be nice and short and pithy, like this podcast rocks, or this podcast is terrible, or, if you want to write, like I said, a Stephen King novel or the Old Testament, by all means, have at it. Go crazy, okay? And then if you zip all the way to the very back, up to the very top there, you're going to see an ellipsis. You're going to see the 3 dots. You just click on that and just hit the follow the show option, and that'll make sure that all the episodes get downloaded automatically for you. One less thing to worry about in your already busy life, yes. And I want to also let you know the podcast episodes are available on moviesmerica.com. And I'm also on that newfangled thing that all the kids are on called social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook under Movies Merica. So if you look for me on Facebook, for instance, you'll find a Movies Merica page, Movies Merica group. And again, like I said, I'm on Twitter and Instagram, just posting and doing my thing on those social spaces, okay? All right. Well, hey, before we get into the review, let's get down to the brew, the ice-cold brew. And that is the part of the show where I like to just kind of give a little review of a beer that I have picked for said episode, for this particular episode. And this episode's lucky brew is a pecan ale from Avina Brewing out of Covington, Louisiana. So that's like Covington, Louisiana is like in the north end or north side of Lake Pontchartrain, opposite of New Orleans there in the great state of Louisiana. Yes, thank you, Thomas Jefferson. And this, being a pecan ale, they call it pecan. I can really barely taste the pecan, but that might be a good thing. I mean, I like pecans or pecans, however you say it. Pecan. I'm all good. I call it pecan today. Catch me next Tuesday. I'll probably be calling it pecan. But yeah, this is a pecan ale from Avina Brewing, and yeah, it's got some good flavor to it. And again, I'm not getting any kind of money. I'm not endorsing this. I'm not getting any kind of sponsorship money from Avina Brewing or any of the breweries that I review a beer from. Not yet, anyway. If any of you are out there listening, hey, I'll always take your call. Yeah, absolutely. Reach out. I won't ignore you. But for right now, no sponsorship. This is not bad. It's got kind of a nice little malty, milky kind of flavor to it. Very smooth. And hey, you know what? Perfect for drinking during a Black Adam Movies Merica episode. Okay, so to that, let me take a tug off this bad boy. Got some pretty good liquid pecan. Absolutely. Okay. So, Black Adam. Well, let me warn you guys all first is that most of my episodes are spoiler-free, but seeing that Black Adam has been out for a few weeks, and so I am definitely not early to the game to, creating a Black Adam movie review. This is going to be a spoiler-filled, kind of a like a revisiting of Black Adam, just my takes and opinions on it, with plenty of spoilers, just like, pecan brownies are chock full of pecans. This is going to be chock full of spoilers, okay? And so, so with that disclaimer, just to warn you, if you haven't seen Black Adam here, this is, like I said, a spoiler-filled episode, so you have been warned. So, at the count of 5, I am going to start, and you've got that long to vacate the premises. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, dos, uno. All right. So Black Adam stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson here, as I'm sure probably you all know, and he plays the titular character Black Adam, although they call him Teth Adam in much of this movie here. And Black Adam is a DC. Well, I believe he started out as a Marvel comic book hero, like back in the 40s, and then I think like in the last 20 years, like DC has taken him over, and so Black Adam is like this superhuman, all-powerful being that has been given these powers by the Council of Wizards, I think it is. I'm not. If you listen to enough of these episodes, or these review episodes of like DCEU and Marvel movies, it won't take you long to realize that, yeah, I am not like the biggest connoisseur of DC and Marvel. I mean, I watch the movies, but I am not well versed on the whole comic book lore of DC and Marvel. So, yeah, if you're looking for that kind of expertise, definitely there's plenty of other options for that. I'm just reviewing movies that happen to be of the DCEU and Marvel ilk, okay? And so I'm not bringing any kind of like Marvel and DCEU or DC expertise to these reviews, so I'm not going to remember every single thing. But I think like Black Adam, I think that he gets his powers, from what's called the Council of Wizards. And the Council of Wizards, the members of the Council of Wizards, all their names, Shazam, right? So, Shazam, okay? Well, all the wizards in the Council of Wizards, their names start with the letters of Shazam, okay? All right, so that's where they come up with Shazam, okay? And so Black Adam was part of the Shazam part of the DC universe, and so Black Adam is given these powers by this Council of Wizards way back in the day, because as a kid, and I'm assuming you've seen the movie, so you know all this, but just in case somebody doesn't know, as we all saw, when we watched the movie, because I'm sure everyone's seen the movie, right? That's listening to this. We saw that there's this little kid, and he wants to stand up to the people that are enslaving his people, his fellow citizens of the good country of Kondak. And so he, leads an uprising against the evil king that's enslaving them. And, he gets caught and he's about to be sacrificed for his insolence, against the king. And he is saved by the Council of Wizards. And then they turn him into Black Adam, right? They give him these powers, with the word Shazam, right? Okay, kind of like Shazam, out of the Shazam movie from back in 2019, got his powers, right? And so then, obviously, we see where, out of rage against this kid who the Council of Wizards turned into Black Adam, the evil king goes after Black Adam's mother and father, kills his mother. Goes to kill his father, but Black Adam gives his powers to his father in order to save his father. And then now that the Black Adam is powerless, the king's, minions, or the king's grunts, basically, kill Black Adam. And so we find out later on in the movie that Dwayne Johnson's character, Black Adam, isn't the original Black Adam. He's not the little kid that led the rebellion against the the enslaving and whatnot. And so he's not the true Black Adam, but he does a good enough job, in the meantime of this. But and so, but to the country of Kondak, which is they kind of portray it as like this exotic country, maybe in the Middle East or something, or Asia or something like that. And it kind of reminded me of Wakanda. It's like obviously off on its own, and it's not highly technological like Wakanda, but it's just like a fictitious country, kingdom, what have you, created for the purpose of a comic book movie, right? And so So Dwayne Johnson's character, Black Adam, he's seen by the people of Kahndaq as a champion of the country, right? He destroyed the king back thousands of years ago that enslaved the people of Kahndaq. Well, now the people of Kahndaq are being enslaved by a group of what is it, like I can't remember, like inter mercenaries or something like that. So is what like who's taken over the country of Kahndaq, and so they're just like using the people of Kahndaq for their own purposes and whatnot in order to, I guess, to find that the crown of Sabak, I believe, is like the big rabbit's foot in this movie, the thing that people are seeking and trying to get possession of. It's the crown of Sabak. Well, so these mercenaries, are running or enslaving Kahndaq or running Kahndaq in order to find this crown. And so, yeah. So that's kind of the synopsis of the movie, just in case someone hasn't seen it, but, just kind of refresh everybody's memory, even for those that have actually seen Black Adam. But not all is as it seems, based off of what I described Black Adam to be. And there's this government official named Amanda Waller, and you may have seen her character from the Suicide Squad movies, Suicide Squad, and then The Suicide Squad. Okay. And Amanda Waller is actually, this is government official, and she works with this group called the Justice Society. And they happen to know a little something different about old Black Adam. And so it's, just this secret, deceptive, plot in this movie. And I did like, so I mean, so that movie is what it is, right? I mean, that's where it kind of, we're kind of bouncing off of from that point in the movie. And my overall thoughts on this movie, or just my initial thoughts here, just to let you know, I did like the more serious tone of this movie and some other DC movies overall, more than the tone that you see with Marvel. Okay, Marvel nowadays, in like phase 3, phase 4, everything is just so cookie cutter and sugar coated and, just lacks any kind of depth or stakes or anything like that. And with this movie, Black Adam, and some other DC movies, pointedly like the Zack Snyder DC movies, like Justice League or the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, it does have kind of a seriousness, that creates more tension and intrigue in the movie, at least for a comic book movie, that is. Okay, and so that's where I prefer DC movies nowadays to Marvel movies, because Marvel did used to be able to create this kind of tension and in serious tone, in phase 1 and phase 2. Great example is Captain America, the Winter Soldier. It provided some some involvement, or like you really cared about the characters. You got to know the characters, and just the musical score and the screenplay, just everything, the way things were written, the acting, the pacing, the editing, all came together to provide this undertone of seriousness and tension and intrigue that kept you interested, right? And that's just something that Marvel just does not do in phase 3 and phase 4, but Black Adam does. Now, what helps with creating that serious tone is the Lorne Balfe soundtrack to this. And the Lorne Balfe soundtrack, it did show some promise at the beginning of this movie, I got to say. It had like some good roaring, deep undertones that would make Lorne's movie score Jedi Master Hans Zimmer very, very proud. Because if you listen to a Lorne Balfe score, like say Lorne Balfe did these music for Mission Impossible Fallout. Who else did he do? He did like a number of different movies. He did the music for Top Gun Maverick. That's kind of a bad example of like Lauren Balfe sounding like Hans Zimmer, but yeah, you'll listen to a Lauren Balfe soundtrack and it sounds a lot like Hans Zimmer, and there's a reason for that because he basically is an understudy for the movie composer legend that is Hans Zimmer. But I have to say that as the movie went along, I mean, the score just lost its luster a little bit. I don't know why, but it is what it is, with that. So now, as you know, later on in the movie, so the big bad in this movie is called Sabak, okay? And Sabak is like this Satan demon kind of like character from hell, okay? I mean, like there's this, the king of Kondak. Earlier in the movie, he's got like this inverted pentagram, on his, cut into his chest and whatnot. So obviously we're talking about like the occult and hell and Satan and all that stuff. Well, so they have this character called Sabak that I didn't really give a crap about. It's just like he's just some villain, bad guy that that you have to have in a movie for your heroes to vanquish, right? And so Sabak, as you saw, unleashed some demons, later on in the movie, and I just thought that it was one of the things in the movie that I didn't like because these demons, these legions of hell, I think is what they're officially supposed to be considered part of. These little demons were just pretty puny and just very easy to kill. Because as we saw, Adriana, the character played by Sarah Shahi, who basically unleashes Black Adam. So her and her brother end up killing these demons. Like they're each holding like a pipe. Almost look like Adriana was holding a bong. they're just bashing these demons with a pipe and whatnot. I'm like, okay, these demons are supposed to be the Legion of Hell, and you can just take them out with a pipe. Like, what the hell? Okay, all right, that's not real sinister. I don't know what's going on. I didn't get that, but okay, that's just one of the problems I have with this movie. Now, one thing I did like is the action that took place in the scene where they're attacking Black Adam right after Adriana unleashes him from his tomb, and they open up fire on Black Adam, and because some guy goes up to him, just check him out and make sure he's means them no harm and to take him captive or whatever they're gonna do. And Black Adam proceeds to grab him by the neck and basically melt the guy, and then after melting him, then breaks his neck after he melts him, right? And so, of course, at that, the mercenaries, they quickly realize, because these guys are these guys are real geniuses. Like, I don't think Black Adam is going to be what we consider a friend. So they start, they open fire on the guy, and then Black Adam takes them all out. And that scene has got some pretty decent action. Surprisingly, I thought it would be like kind of another mindless, I don't care what happens. But I think just the visual effects and the way they portray the power of Black Adam, I thought that was pretty cool in it. And then later on, in that same scene, it kind of progresses on to get even more explosive and fiery. And apparently Black Adam isn't a big fan of helicopters. And so there's a cool something that he does with that. Well, basically, obviously he takes that helicopters and bashes them together, and takes the rotors and takes out some bad guys with the rotors of one of the helicopters, and just some of the slow motion effects, are kind of cool, in this action scene. Now, of course, they play the Rolling Stones Painted Black over this scene, and so it's yet another action scene in a comic book movie that they play classic rock over. And back when they did it with X-Men Days of Future Past, where was it Whiplash? I think was it Whiplash? I can't remember. One of the comic book characters in a Quicksilver. That's what it was. Quicksilver in X-Men Days of Future Past. They have the sequence where he's doing his thing to Jim Croce's Time on a Bottle. That was that was cool back then because, that hadn't been done that much, if at all, at that point. So it was cool and different, but by now it's kind of getting played out. I think that, comic book movie creators need to come up with some new stuff, but the action behind the Painted Black wasn't bad. It was kind of cool. And another little tidbit, as watching, from watching this movie, is you may not have known that the adult version of The Rock's son in this, or Dwayne Johnson's son in this, his son's name is Harut, the son that sacrificed himself. Well, the adult version of him is actually played by Uli Latukefu, and I'm probably really butchering that last name, and apologies if I am. But Uli, he actually he's got a connection to Dwayne Johnson because he plays The Rock in the TV series Young Rock. So it just made sense to have Uli or Yuli. Again, I'm probably sacrificing. I'm butchering that name again. Apologies, but yeah, it makes sense to have him play a younger version or older version of the Rock's son in this because he looks like The Rock. He plays The Rock in Young Rock. Now, I mentioned Amanda Waller, the character of Amanda Waller, earlier. And one thing I've never understood, not just about this movie, but the other DC movies that she's in, is why the DCEU thinks just some frumpy government official like Amanda Waller would have some kind of power over super beings, like various DC characters, like Superman, for instance, or Black Adam. I mean, well, I guess she doesn't have authority over Black Adam. That's the point of the scene at the end with Henry Cavill playing Superman, right? Amanda Waller quickly learns that Black Adam obviously doesn't see her as a figure of authority, but DCEU portrays her as like a figure of power and authority over these other super beings. I've never gotten that. And I don't know, maybe if it's like DCEU's kind of like, maybe it's kind of a jokey thing. Like they think, oh, hey, here's this poorly dressed government official that she's just like this woman that in and of herself, not really that powerful physically, right? Not very imposing physically, but they portray her as having this power over these super beings, right? And I guess maybe they see that, oh, hey, it's kind of funny. Hey, she's, physically unimposing and physically not very dangerous, but she's got this power. Ha ha. I don't know if that's what they're going for with that, but I don't. Still kind of stupid, I think, but all right. Hey, you know what? This voice is getting a little parched, so I better take a little tug off this pecan ale here. Okay. And as with other comic book movies, the battle between main characters in this movie, in this case Black Adam and the members of the Justice Society just didn't really mean much to me because, I mean, unless you've got less than 2 brain cells, that Black Adam is going to team up with this, with the Justice Society in the end. It's just, predictable and happens in a lot of these comic book movies. So they're fighting each other, earlier in this movie, and they're bashing each other in the walls and, and flying into each other and punching each other and, trapping each other and blah, 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 and all that stuff. And it just didn't really mean much to me. I'm like sitting here. It's just like just pointless, bloodless, empty fighting that they're doing. And it seems like, okay, it's just there for visual spectacle, which it is. I mean, to be fair, some of the CGI in this movie is pretty cool. But it's like they're just trying to take up time. It's just content that they're putting out there in order to to get further and further in the movie, to lengthen the movie, right? And again, it's just, I don't know. It's just innocuous, vapid action, where you don't really take it seriously that there's this rivalry, kind of like in Captain America: Civil War, they're having their civil war there at the airport, and I'm like, okay, I don't really believe that really anything serious is going to happen because they're going to all get a team up in the next Marvel movie, right? Like, it's just quote unquote civil war. It doesn't really mean much at all. So, And also, I thought Pierce Brosnan, though, as a positive to this movie, I thought Pierce Brosnan's Dr. Fate, or Kent Nelson Dr. Fate character, was pretty good. I mean, he was kind of a nice contrast to Aldis Hodge's Hawkman character, who was really trying too hard to be tough. Pierce Brosnan's Dr. Fate was just kind of a nice, vulnerable, contemplative, intelligent contrast to Hawkman here. And then, of course, at the end, Dr. Fate, quote unquote, dies at the end. But again, that's something else hard to take seriously because, we know with comic book movies, characters come back all the time. So I wouldn't really count Dr. Fate out, okay? But, Black Adam, yeah, in the end, it's a decent escape, and, it's a feast for the eyeballs, but like a chili cheese dog from Sonic, it's fun while you're consuming it, but just, to be honest, totally forgettable afterwards. So you don't have to rush out to the theater, go see it. I mean, as you can tell, I didn't rush out to go see it. It's just some good mindless, brainless entertainment. But yeah, go check it out. You could afford to wait for it to come out on, streaming or whatever. So, yeah, so that is, my take on Black Adam here. But thanks for listening, everyone. I seriously appreciate it. Feel free to recommend Movies Merica to anybody you even remotely think would be interested in this. And as always, everyone, get out there. Those movies aren't going to watch themselves. Shazam!
Hey guys, don't leave the video quite yet. Okay, I've got a popo. They're coming after me, and I don't have much time to tell you, but you need to like and subscribe this video right here, down below. It's right down there. It's just waiting. It's waiting for you down there, okay? And make sure you watch these videos over here too. You'll be doing me a big favor. I'm gonna be in handcuffs pretty soon. All right. Thanks for watching.